Peace to ours. I had to give you the full countdown just now so everybody can know what's going on here. We got Eric L. Beats. For most Knicks fans, you know this guy from every event. He's every single event. But not only that, he's a DJ himself and a bunch of other different things he does. So anyway, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna bring Eric L. Beats in here. But before we do that, let's play this little clip here that we did together. Just show it. And though we're usually on a serious tip, check it out. Tonight we're gonna flip and trip and let it all hang out tonight. We're gonna see what we like. Yeah, man, I had to put that out there, man. Just for shits and giggles, man. So anyway, this is your boy Ebru, DJing podcast, Eric L. What's good, my brother?
What's good, bro? What's good?
Yeah, chilling, man, chilling. One of my buttons got stuck there, man. I was trying to hit you with the special, but I got a little technical difficulties. Whatever, man. Yeah, man. So what's going on with you, man? I finally got you on the podcast. I've been trying to get you on here for a minute.
I know, man. It's been a minute, but everything's good. Just chilling, praying for this weekend coming up for Labor Day and counting down to next season.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyway, we are in Labor Day weekend, man. So this is probably like one of the busiest weekends for DJs and stuff. So that's where I know you most from, DJing. But we can get into other stuff too. But what's your schedule like this weekend?
Schedule and tomorrow, Friday, I'm doing the Pier 36 boat ride from 7 to 10. Saturday, same place, 7 to 10. Sunday, the afternoon, 12 to 2. And then Monday, I'm doing the afternoon, 12 to 2, and Monday night, 7 to 10. All from Liberty Cruise, leaving Pier 36.
That's what's up, man. For those that don't know, Eric L, he's a really good DJ, man. I tapped into some of your lives when you used to do it at what's the spot on 14th Street you used to do?
It was Fat Buddha.
Yeah, Fat Buddha. I was gonna say Fat Beats, but Fat Beats been closed down for years.
Yeah, Fat Beats been closed down for years.
Yeah.
You missed that place though.
Yeah, Fat Buddha. I think I popped up on you one time there, if I'm not mistaken. But you're a great, you're a good DJ, man.
I think it's with the Knicks Omni fan, if I remember.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. It was them. Shout out to the Knicks Omni fan also. Big fans of them. Those are my homies.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I gotta get them on the show again too, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. But what I wanted to ask you, what came first? What was your first love? I know you're into DJing and stuff, but what came first, the Knicks or music?
The Knicks. All right, so how it started was like I started getting into basketball like around 5 or 6, and then during the time it was like the early 90s, 90, 91. You had that team was like starting to like come out of the doldrums of the 80s. It was like a real slow time for them. I was born in 85, so it was like around the time where Patrick Ewing got into the league.
And okay, so you're a baby, man. You're a baby.
Yeah, I'm a baby. Yeah. So yeah, it was Patrick Ewing, and then it was like a little bit after the Bomb Squad, 89, and then 90, 91 was the first year of Riley. And then that's when I started following them, especially with those games against the Bulls. It was those big games that you used to like look forward to on a Sunday on NBC with the theme music and the storylines that just enhanced it. And it was like it's like basically a theater within the theater.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you got Madison Square Garden in New York City. It's like, okay, is there any other team that has this type of, not pageantry, but this type of energy?
Yeah, atmosphere.
Yeah. And like, nope. And then I stuck with them. The way their team was set up, the grit and the grind, the guttiness, just like playing extra hard defense, and just like the hard nosed grit and grind, to punch the ticket, punch your time clock at work and go to work. That's the mentality that New York is, and that's the mentality that Pat Riley instilled with them.
Yeah, man. So I mean, like you're born in '85, you said, right? So you came
Yeah.
in right at the right time. Like, this is like the time when everything is magical. Everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was around that age, I had just like really like that's when actually Patrick Ewing first came in. So when Patrick Ewing came in, it was more like an entry, because when I was a baby, it was more Bernard King. My dad was talking about Bernard King, so it was just like a mystical thing. But then
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Ewing was the first one that I was able to receive. But around when I want to say Rod Strickland came in, that was my 10-year-old, thing. So that's when the magic, for all this stuff. So I remember the Bomb Squad vividly, man. So that's really like my first like real clear team, with Johnny Newman and all them guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that always sticks close to my heart, man. So you actually, it was the Starks Knicks, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was the Starks Knicks, the Starks, Mason, Xavier McDaniel, Charles Smith, Charles Oakley, that whole squad. And then 93, the first was the 91 squad, then 92, that's when I really got into them. At then they had that playoff series against the Bulls. They took them to 7 games in the second round, lost to them. Like, okay, that was one of the teams that pushed the Bulls to the limit at that team at that time. So okay, I can rock with them. Then 93 came, and we're thinking, okay, we're gonna win it all. We're gonna win it all. We're gonna take on the Bulls, beat them, get to the finals finally, and cash in. It was looking good. It was looking good until the infamous Game 5 at the end. And yeah, I'm not gonna rehash that.
Was that Charles Smith, right?
Yeah, Charles Smith.
You gotta say it, man.
Yeah,
you gotta rip
Charles Smith. I gotta go back down to the rabbit hole. But here's the thing, though. Now a lot of people will tell you this, but that game, the reason why they also lost that game, they missed a whole bunch of free throws. Remember?
Yeah, no doubt.
Like they missed a good, like, if I remember, like 15 to 20 free throws that game, and they lost by 3. So if they made half those free throws, it's a blowout, or they at least win by 10. So
yeah, it was a lot of make one, miss ones and stuff like that. People don't talk about it. That's the one reason why that I can stomach that game. People always want to go back to those things, but they wouldn't have been no layups if they would have just made their freaking free throws. Exactly. Not even all their free throws, just a couple
half
more.
The free throws. That's it. That's the game.
Yeah, man. That's the Knicks in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, and then 94 came in the game, and then you hear this rumble about Jordan retiring. We're thinking, all right, whatever, it ain't happening. And then that night game, they were at a playoff game, the White Sox and the Blue Jays. There was a game 1 and game 2, and then it was game 1 because he threw out the first pitch, and then rumors started coming out, and then next thing you know, the floodgates open. Jordan retired the next day, and thinking, now this 94 should be really, really be our year.
Yeah.
But that whole entire playoff run was just, you talking about pressure cooker? Oof.
Yeah, every single night we was in a grindhouse. Every single night.
It was literally life and death, those playoff games, especially against the Bulls and the Pacers. Where was your pacemaker? You needed pacemakers for those games.
Yeah.
And not to mention the Houston series, which was painful. Pain.
Well, I wish we had spare knees for Ewing, man, because Ewing was every single time we had our moment where we could have went over the top. Even fast forward to '99, if he would have just had some magic, icy hot or tiger bomb or something to rub on Ewing, or wrap him up in bubble wrap or something.
Icy hot,
throw him in a hyperbolic chamber or something, man, because he always was hurt when it was absolutely our chance to step over into that
time. It'll be at the wrong time. Like, oh, come on, you were right there, bro.
Yeah, that's another reason why. That's another reason why I can stomach that shooting slump from John Starks. I can stomach that because I just know that Ewing was wearing white stockings, the whole playoffs, and
those extra padded knee pads.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was looking crazy, man. But I mean, what can you do, man? Like if he was like 85%, because I think he was probably like less than that. If he was like 85%, we probably would have beat them.
Yeah. And if they would have won Game 3 that series, they win that championship.
Yeah. So I mean, things are kind of like meant to be. Like like when you look back on things, it's like good moments, bad moments, but from that 20-year span after we traded Ewing, so we went through like 20 years of just like everything that you could imagine would go wrong. So like
Okay,
when you think
okay.
about yeah.
All right. So not to cut you off though, but
Mhm.
I don't know if it's me, but it seems like the national media will put all the emphasis on the Knicks, that 20-year span of the Knicks.
Mhm.
Okay. But you got other franchises in the league who've been non-existent during their entire existence, like the Kings. Okay, when the last time they won a championship in the 50s? Okay.
Yeah, the King.
The Pelicans slash Hornets. When the last time they made to the finals or the conference finals? Explain that to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, who else?
Well, even like Golden
The,
State. Golden State won some
Golden State.
championships recently, but before then, it was
They
like
had a
30
they
years.
they. This is what irks me about it. Like, yes, the New York Knicks are, yes, they're in a big market, got the biggest fan base in the league. Yes, I get it. But the Golden State Warriors, who won who won 3 titles in a 5-year span, before Mark Jackson got there, they made one playoff appearance in a good 30 years since 1994. And they don't talk about that, but they'll sweep that under the rug. But they'll talk about the next 20-year disaster of front office malpractice and coaching and players and dysfunction of the whole organization. And rightfully it was. Yes, and we stuck through that whole 20-year span. But it's like it gets real more magnified since we're in the New York market and in the biggest media market in the world.
Right.
But I just think that those other franchises, they don't get talked about how their franchises are being run on that scale. But comes with the territory.
Yeah.
And I know it's those LOL jokes of the Knicks this last year, after what happened last year, out the window, garbage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I talk about ESPN too, ESPN during that time frame, they that's when they kind of gave birth. They weren't really
Uh-huh.
there in the 80s. During the time when the Knicks were doing bad, that's when they really started popping with the cable
Yeah.
networks and stuff like that. So
Uh-huh.
they used the Knicks as like a joke to help boost them to where they need to go because they needed the New York market to boost themselves up. So using us as like a kicking stool, everything
Uh-huh.
just to get people engaged and stuff like that. They used us all these 20 years, man. So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing the podcast stuff.
And
Just
that's why
just just
all
to
those
fight that. Yeah.
and that's why you have all those uh, and this is the great time this is a great time for us Nick fans, because now we have our own network. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have our
Yeah.
own content creators, yourself, um, nothing but Knicks fan TV, Knicks film school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got a big fan base who have a bunch of content creators who we can go and listen to for Nick news and Nick's rumors and everything. And we don't have to depend on ESPN, Fox Sports, all these national medias and these national writers who don't know nothing about how the Knicks are run, how the Knicks are, doing on a daily basis, and they don't need to. That's fine. But the thing for us is that we needed this. We needed an outlet for us to listen to Nick rumors, Nick's news, any type of Nick news, because MSG, even though they broadcast the games, they're not indulging that because they still do the Giants, uh, the Red Bull, the Rangers, Devils, Islanders. So they'll focus on sports in different sports and different franchises in the city. It's not Nick centric like we have right here right now.
Yeah.
So now it's a perfect now you got a perfect storm brewing. What happened last year during the off season, and now the anticipation of what's going to happen this season is starting to brew up. It's starting to brew, and the fact that they have potential in the next 3 to 5 years to become an elite team, an elite championship contender. It's gonna get real interesting for those other fan bases who have to deal with us.
Yeah, we the greatest fan base ever, man. But we don't become the greatest fan base without going through the hardships and stuff like that. So I mean, you come from, the early '90s, like you said, like the what do you call it, the bomb squad or whatever. I come from that same era too. I remember Ewing when he was drafting this and the other. Like I said, that 20-year period, was one thing. But in order to really appreciate what's happening now, you kind of got to go through those different things. You got to have something to pull from.
Yep.
So I kind of envy a lot of these young guys too, because they're like coming into this stuff where the Knicks are finally coming up. So now the current Knicks is their bomb squad. The current Knicks is their Ewing. Ewing was drafted. That's, you compare it to RJ. Julius Randle and all these different guys, different teams and stuff like that. Pat Riley with Tom Thibodeau. All this stuff is connecting in a special way, and it's something that only that we can tell that story. Guys that love the Knicks. We love it with all our hearts, so only we can tell those stories. So, it's great that now that we have that power to do that.
And the fact that we have fans who stuck with it and not jump ship to the Brooklyn basketball team or to any other team like the Lakers or the whoever franchise, because they have the best player on the team, they have a better team. Okay, fine, whatever. If God forbid, if the Knicks win a championship, don't come back. They already started. We already started closing the bandwagon last year. So
the bandwagon is closed. You can't even get a ticket to that.
Y'all lucked out. Y'all lucked out. Y'all should have stayed with the David Fizdales, the Mike Millers. We went through that. We went through the Jeff Hornaceks. We went through the Kurt Rambis, Derek Fisher, the Phil Jackson. It's like we went through 2 17-win seasons and a 21-win season over this past 8 years. And just to have them do what they did last year, coming out of nowhere and make the playoffs, and not even be in the play-in tournament, make the playoffs and have home court in the first round and win the playoff game. I mean, it only sets the Knicks up for what's bound to happen in this coming season, the next year, and who knows? This can be start of something really, really big, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I mean, because just like we were saying, this setup when Ewing came in, just building up those teams, whatever. The setup right now is kind of similar because we started when RJ first got here, he wasn't really winning. But even before him, we had KP. So all those things had to happen in order to build up to this point. Because if there was no KP, there wouldn't be any Julius Randle.
Yep.
We got rid of him, and then we were able to get cap space to get Julius Randle. Those draft picks that we got from KP quickly turned into one of those. McBride and these guys.
Grimes.
It's like an energy shift, right?
Yeah, because if you really think about it, this whole resurgence of Knicks started with that injury KP, and then was Scott Perry there when Porzingis went down with the injury, or was he there before?
I'm not sure if he was there before, but he was definitely there towards the end of that run.
Yeah, I remember him. I think he came in like around the 2018 season, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta check it. I gotta look. But so speaking of Scott Perry, I'm kind of glad they kept him around, because now the whole front office, they're coming into year 2 under the Leon Rose era, the whole regime of Leon, Roy West, Scott Perry, who was there before they got there, but they have the relationship between Scott Perry and Leon Rose. So now you got the camaraderie in the front office, which is unequivocally important. And then you got the second year Tibbs, and then you got most of the players that re-signed. This has been your second year with the same group, for the exception of Kemba and Fournier. And then you got the 2 rookies with McBride and Grimes. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen with them. But I think the addition of Kemba Kemba and Fournier is going to open up the floor big time for Randle, because we cannot afford to have him bring up the ball like good 50 to 60% of the possessions that's going on, because he needs his rest. He needs to at least be in that low block much more often than he was last year. Also, it's going to put an onus on Obi Toppin because now it's an 82 game season. My question is, how much minutes is he going to get on the floor with the 82 game season? Because now it's not a 72 game season.
Who's that? Obi?
Yeah, Obi.
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast a couple of times already, man. But I think he's like one of the keys because if he doesn't play well, then that kind of messes everything up a little bit. Because you definitely need to give Julius Randle a rest. He's like last year he was doing so much. He like some games he looked like he was like he looked like a drunk. Like he was like swole up. His body was swole up. He had no energy. He wasn't sweating because he was like dehydrated. He was giving his all, and we needed somebody to come in there to give him a spell. We want to talk about defenses too. Opposing defenses were keying on Julius Randle, so he couldn't do anything. Shout out to Atlanta. That's basically what they did. They keyed on Julius, and we couldn't do anything.
Now, he was second. He led the league in minutes last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you factor that. I think that he's not going to play as much minutes as he did last year, but it depends on what Obi does. If he's going to come in and give me at least 10 to 15 points off the bench in this like 12 to 15 minutes, then we got something. Then we really got something. If he doesn't, if Obi doesn't, then it's like, okay, you're gonna have to at least play Randle more minutes. It's real interesting because who's the backup for Randle and Obi at the 4? Because you're not playing Randle at the 3.
And it gets ugly.
And then at the 5, you're gonna have to play the small ball if you really want to go there. And on top of that, do you want to play Obi and Randle at the 4 and the 5? We'll see.
It puts us at a disadvantage. I was going to throw Paul Millsap at you. The Nets just signed Paul Millsap. I've been talking about Paul Millsap for the longest. So Paul Millsap, he would have been perfect sitting right behind Julius Randle to spell that power forward spot.
Yeah.
Then you could play. You can fool around and play that small ball stuff because Paul Millsap is going to be able to hold down his position.
And if that was the case, you put Obi at the 5 and then play Millsap at the 4.
Yeah, you could play games like that, but since you don't have that luxury, Obi Toppin has to be that guy. He has to be who he's supposed to have been last year. If he's not that, then we definitely have a big problem. That I think that's like the only problem that the Knicks have with this roster is just the backup for it. Shout out to Kevin Knox too, right? What do you think about Kevin Knox?
I think he's going to show us something come training camp because this is last year under his contract, right? I think he's going to have something to prove, and I think by the end of training camp in the preseason, I think he sneaks into that rotation. Don't know how, don't know where, because you have the McBride and Grimes. McBride, he's a dog. I watched those summer league games. He's a dog, and it won't surprise me if McBride's in that rotation also. And this also puts another onus on Emmanuel Quickly,
right? Because
the way McBride plays defense, if Quickly does not show that type of defensive energy in the awareness and aggression, I think McBride's going to steal minutes from Quickly. But you're still going to need Quickly for his offense because you're going to need him to back up RJ. So right now you got a big puzzle you got to fill, and it could go either way with how you set your rotations and whatnot, and how you flip your lineups and matchups depending on who you play. So Tibbs is gonna have he's gonna have his hands full on how he conducts his roster.
Yeah, he's gonna have to utilize his coaching staff definitely because what like hypothetical what if Kevin Knox shows up and all of a sudden he's the guy that we thought he was. Now it gives you a problem because let's say Obi's playing well, Knox is playing well. Now you got McBride and you got Grimes and you got these guys too. Where does Quickly fit in that? Because you got Burks and you got Rose there too. So now when it comes to like backing up, where does Quickly feel there? Because Rose is definitely going to back up Walker, and then Burks is more than likely going to back up Fournier. RJ or Fournier, whatever you however you look at it. But Quickly is the one that will be sitting out, looking into the rotation if Kevin Knox shows up.
It all falls on Tibbs. He's gotta come out of this. He's gotta. It wouldn't shock me that he's ready. It wouldn't shock me that if he was already planning how he's gonna set his rotations right after what he watched in Summer League, because he was there in Summer League and he was in mid-season form.
Yeah, remember when
form?
Yeah, Quickly had 32 points that game, and before Quickly could even cheer, he turned around and freaking Tom Thibodeau was right there.
Right there, Tibbs was right there with him and Obi, because he knew that these are not the rookies no more. Second-year player, they know the system, so the onus was on them to provide the leadership for those two rookies, McBride and Grimes. So now you come into training camp, which is 26 days away. We're going to see how those sessions turn out, because it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight. So who's going to be in the rotation, playing minutes, who plays defense, matchups. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. You already know Tom Thibodeau is just like us. He's like up at because he don't got no kids. He's not married. You know what I'm saying? So he's up all night. Got a bulletin board like a freaking serial killer with all different kind of red lines and stuff. Just like how we do. We talk about it like until we're like gonna pass out. But I'm quite sure he's exactly just like us, if not worse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm quite sure he got all these variables up there.
He got PowerPoint presentations on starting lineups, defensive rotations, who can guard which matchups I can like. He has a PowerPoint. He got bulletin boards. He got blackboard, chalkboards. He has everything. So the onus is on him. It's on him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully he can get it together. If I think like the best seat in the house probably for early on right now is probably going to be that open practice. Whenever they announce that, I think that's going to sell out faster than it's ever sold out.
Oh yeah, because you have the fan base that's like brewing with anticipation because of the move they made with adding Kemba and Fournier. Upgrade the 1 and the 3 from Bullock and Payton. We don't have to worry. The things that, even though some people say, Payton and Reggie, okay, you're losing defense. Okay, it's kind of like a not too subtle move. It is a big deal to us because we watched all 72 games. No, we watched all 2 years of Alpha Payton and Reggie Bullock. Okay, so you can't tell us nothing about getting an upgrade. Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, and mind you, both of them played in Boston last year. They had a pretty big plus minus when they were in the lineup together. So you add that along with Julius and RJ and Mitch, and then with the bench with Burks, Noel, Quick, Obi. Hey, who knows? Who knows how this team can really play together and where they finish up.
Yeah, right off the gate, we all got the chemistry. We got the chemistry advantage right out the gate. We don't have to worry about gelling because these guys know each other already. And then, like you just mentioned, Kemba and Fournier, they already played together in Boston. Not to mention, both guys are New Yorkers. Like Kemba Walker is from the Bronx. Fournier is from France, but he grew up a Knicks fan. So there's a love there, So if you're talking about a Knicks fan, they're crazy just like we are. So they're gonna bring that energy. So I think right off the gate, we got a lot of home games and stuff like that. People are talking about the schedule, how it might be a little bit tough. I think with just the way that things are swirling at this point, I think we're gonna start the year, like gangbusters, man. We should probably take advantage of like the major homestands and stuff.
So
What
I'm
what
I'm
is
looking
what
at this.
excites you the most about all this?
All right, so I'm looking at the schedule. Um, this might be a little hot take. I might go. So they got Boston opening night at home, at Orlando, second game, home versus the Magic on the 24th, home versus Sixers, the 26th, at Chicago, on the 28th, at New Orleans, October 30th. So that's 6 games so far.
Mm-hmm.
They should go no. They should start no worse than 4-2. All right, that's the
Look at the
first
rest of those
6.
games. The first 10 games, I think we could probably sweep those games, man. If
And
you want to
then
get crazy.
the next 4 games is home versus Raptors. That's a win. At Indiana, I'll give him that. At Milwaukee, that's a loss. And at home versus Cleveland. So that's the first 10 games. They should go at least 7-3 or 8-2.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, why
Yeah,
not?
man.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, you automatically gave us a loss against the Bucks, but I say the opposite. I think we can match up well with the
You know
Bucks.
what? You know what? It wouldn't surprise me because last year they won games that they was not supposed to, and that's all on Tibbs. That's on his philosophy of we win games no matter what. No matter what, we win games, and I think that philosophy is starting to like wear on us a little bit more. Because last year we was just shocked, like, oh my gosh, we won this game, we won that game. Whoa, 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 whoa. And there were so many games that they could have easily lost. We were down big, and they would hang around, come back and win. Okay, I was like, okay, now you see why the philosophy of winning is so much more important than tanking, losing games for a draft pick that I don't even know who's going to be for such an unknown, where you have a known commodity of Tibbs, knowing that he's going to make sure that you play defense, you play hard, and you expect to win games. I'd rather have that as my part of my development core than just keep on losing, tanking. That doesn't serve a purpose. And us Knicks fans, we've been so desensitized of losing that it's like, I don't know. I mean, look at the draft picks. Look at this draft pick. I'm like, I don't care about draft picks. I need to see some wins. Okay, we suffered through 8 years of just being non-competitive in the NBA. Enough is enough. Time is up. We got to start getting back into the league, and that's what they did. And I'm glad they
Yeah.
did that. I'm really glad they did that.
Yeah, the rest of the league, the players around the league, the young players, they all they know is the Knicks losing. So for the Knicks not to win, that just sets that paints the picture for them. But to see that the Knicks are now actively trying to win and whatever, now the young guys, now they can see that where we did they play the Knicks already. They see the style of play that we're playing. So now they know that something's different here. That's what attracts better free agents. Fournier always wanted to become a Knick, but he never did. Kemba had a chance also to get here, but he didn't come here because the Knicks weren't good at the time. Just wasn't a good fit. But now we went from guys like Moody Eye and all these weirdos that we was picking up. Yeah,
and Trey Burke. I mean, I like Trey Burke, but okay, Moody who was the Lance Thomas? Gosh.
Yeah, they're just the bums of the world.
Yeah,
but,
it was just like. Oh
but
my
we
gosh,
graduated now to Walker and Fournier now.
I literally went to games and saw that lineup. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is I love the Knicks. That's my team, but oof, another 17-win season. I went to a couple preseason games 2 years ago, and I'm thinking, oh, another long season. As you can see it now, this season is like I really want to go to a preseason game because I got to see how this team's gonna gel, how this team's gonna play their type of game, and I'm really looking forward to it. And also, it's like accountability. It's like it's about time this franchise gets a hold of being accountable,
Right.
and the fact that they hired Tibbs last July, that let us know that it's time. It's time to be accountable. Winning,
So
winning, and being accountable for your actions. That's what it matters. And I think that's why Julius Randle. I don't think and that's why I think Julius Randle is going to have a slightly little better season than last year because he knows what's at stake. He's signed long term. When was the last time a player came to the Knicks and he re-signed long term for the Knicks?
yeah, and also took a pay cut too, man, because
And
he
took a
he
pay
probably
cut. Yeah,
yeah he
took a
left
pay
like
cut.
maybe like $100 million on the table.
Exactly. Saying that, I want to get this out the way. I trust in Leon. I trust in Tibbs. Let's go to work. And also what that shows us is that okay, the Knicks gonna take care of their players, unlike unlike the previous regime. You're not doing the 1 year team. You're not doing the 1 year contract, the short term contracts. No. Now along with Randall, you have the other guys who was part of that bench mob. They re-signed for 2 or 3 years. They want to go with the continuity and the stability, and we haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah. The rest of the league sees it too, man, because everybody's on 2 year plus one contracts, so everyone can see that the Knicks are on a timeline. Basically, they got Julius Randle there, doing his thing, but then they also are basically on the RJ timeline. Also,
Mm-hmm.
everyone sees that. If we see that as fans, players and agents and stuff like that, they see it too. And that's what's great with having Leon Rose and World Wide West there too, because they're there to connect the dots and stuff. So to me, that's what excites me about the Knicks and basketball. Just that building process and this that eureka moment that would surprise that's what gets my juices going. What about this whole basketball thing with the Knicks team building? It could be players or moments, whatever. What gets your juices flowing mostly with this stuff?
I mean, with this for this particular team,
But just just
um,
um just the Knicks in general.
oh, I just think it's us, the fan base. It's like
Just
we're so
camaraderie with the
passionate.
fans.
Yes, the fan base. Like we love our Knicks so much. It's like we like. I don't care if they're down 10, down 12. We cheer for them. We like watch every single minute of the team because we see, and we know the players. We know everything about the whole organization. And now that the team is winning and on this trajectory, it's gotten to a point where last year for the fan base, it was vengeance tour. It's like we're back. You can't talk about this no more. And watch this. The Knicks proved everyone wrong. They shocked everyone. And the Knicks fan base, they took that and they rode the wave. I'll say this: if the Knicks team wins 50 games and wins a couple playoff series this coming year, this fan base is gonna get real obnoxious. It's gonna get real obnoxious.
That's
It's gonna be. I thought last year was borderline toxic. This year, if they win 50 games in two playoff series and get to the conference finals, it's gonna get real toxic, especially in the Knicks Twitter world.
I mean, well, talk about the streets. That playoff game that we went to go see. We happened to be at Clyde's together.
Yes, that
You
night.
you was in your little section. Everybody's in their little sections. Whatever. It was the energy was kind of bad because we was playing bad most of the game.
Yeah, the
But
first
then
half was a snooze fest.
yeah, but then like towards the end, when the Knicks started rallying and stuff like that, everybody's out their seats, everybody's jumping up and down and going crazy. So anyway, we win the game, right? So like you, I think you came up to me and said, "What you doing after the game?" And then I was like, "Well, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go home." He said, "I'm going to the garden," and then you just was like, "You're gone," and shit. And before I can get myself set, I get into my car. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do because I feel good. I was like, yeah, I should do something too. So I go on freaking the phone. I'm looking at Knicks fan TV. Who I see? I see you. You were just standing next to me at the bar at Clyde's, and now I see you at freaking Knicks fan TV talking to Whistle. I said, this guy is crazy. He ran all the way down from where Clyde's is all the way to the garden to get in that mob and stuff. Yeah,
It was like a quick walk, and then I was like, "Yo, it's a
it's not a quick
playoff."
walk.
Listen, to me, it is. I walk fast, but
Yeah.
here's the thing, though: it's a playoff game. They were down. They were down big at halftime. They were looking sluggish. Then
Mhm.
second half, they made those adjustments, and then they started making shots. Okay, I don't know if it was me, but I thought Game One was really loud for their first playoff in 8 years.
Yeah.
Game two, it was just ridiculous how loud that crowd was. It was just like, and I get it because 8 years, no playoffs. You also coming from a pandemic, which you still are in, and people want to go outside. They watching the Knicks. They're in the playoffs. I'm like, oh my god, like yo, I gotta go. I gotta go. And it's this whole energy was so revved up in the last 8 years, and then explode, and then after the game, it was literally like a sea of people, like it was like I thought it was like a ticket tape parade after winning game two. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, I went down there. I was like, let me see some people I know that was probably down there. I met I've seen so many familiar faces. It's like, oh my gosh! Like I seen
Everybody was out
Julito, I
there.
seen Danny B, I seen um um CP from Knicks Fan TV. I seen Terry and Trey. I seen Anthony MSG. I'm like, oh, this is the family reunion.
Yeah,
It
everybody
was
was
it
there.
was there was it was so rambunctious. They were stopping semi trucks along 7th Avenue. They was stopping city MC buses from turning the corner on 32nd and 7th. They were stopping mini trucks. I seen a New York Knicks all decked out car with gold rims riding down 7th Avenue. They were like the whole entire a whole bunch of people like flagging them down.
Yeah.
Horns were blaring. People were standing on the pillars and the poles right in front. You couldn't even get into Penn Station. It was all flooded with fans. That night it was just fun. It was fun. Even though they won that one game, I enjoyed it. It was like, and I said, and I was saying to CP that night, like, yo, if this was after a game of winning one playoff series, imagine them winning the playoff series. Imagine winning 2 playoff series.
Imagine finally getting to that championship. God forbid, right?
God forbid if they win the championship, I'm putting out an emergency flash flood warning. Okay, I mean I don't want to say like after what happened last night, but put out an emergency on the DOT for New York City. And also, so I was watching it's like the second round, the Nets Bucks game, and Charles Barkley, he said something real interesting. He said, "Have you noticed the playoff crowd between Barclays and MSG? Like, it's a night and day." And it's like, I wonder why. I wonder why. Like, Barclays is so laissez-faire, like laid back, this and that. You got KD, Kyrie, James Harden, this and that, blah blah blah. Nick playoff game at MSG, they're just like, they're foaming at the mouth. They're like, rawr, 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 rawr. Every big shot is like much louder, much louder. Obi top and alley oop. That was one of the loud. Okay, so I don't mean to be jumping all over the place. I don't know what was the loudest crowd reaction. The RJ dunk over Bogdanovich in game one. The quickly 3-pointer in game one. When he brought the ball up, pulled up for 3 from beyond from near the logo.
Yeah.
Burks when he had that big fourth quarter in game one, or that Obi Toppin alley oop in game two. I'm thinking the Obi Toppin alley oop in game two was the loudest I've ever heard in 8 years. And I went to games. I went to games at MSG when it was really loud when there were only 17 games. That with that alley oop dunk, it was the loudest I've ever heard in years. So I can only I'm just like thinking about, wow, if they really keep this up and they really improve and they make the playoffs and they go on a deep playoff run, oh my gosh.
I think that alley-oop, probably was the best one too, because the fans were waiting for Obi Toppin to do something at that point. He really erupted in those playoffs. So when he made that alley oop, it was at a key moment of the game too. So
it was third quarter when they made that run.
Yeah. So I think fans were already at the end of the season anyway. So we were hoping for something, whatever. So that was almost like, not on that level, but it was like a momentum shifter, like the John Starks dunk. It was just something that galvanized the team, the crowd, to get everybody riled up and ready to go and stuff. Yeah, man. So it's good stuff. But I wanted to do a part 2 to that story, man. Because after I saw you on Knicks Fan TV, I said, listen, I got to see if I could drive past the Garden. So I did that. I got a Honda Element, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my work car. So I got all kind of flags and stuff on it. So as I'm driving, people are like hitting the car, and they like slapping five and all this other stuff. This is going towards 7th Avenue. Once you get on 7th Avenue, it's dark, so nobody can really see you. But then once you get to 34th Street, that's where the semi trucks and stuff was. So they was trying to stop them from coming through. So then I was coming through. So some cops came up to me. They was like, "Listen, man," and they looked at me. They looked at, because I got like Knicks headsets on the car. I got all kind of decorations. So they looked at me and they was like, "Go ahead, man. Go ahead." Yeah. So as soon as I went past them, the guys like, "Yeah!" They jumping on the car and stuff. So I actually made it past 7th Avenue for a little bit. So everybody, I got a little love too. But I was recording, right? So it was so crazy that I had dropped the phone. So once I dropped the phone, everything was messed up. Yeah, man. But I did get a piece of that energy, man. So if we ever could get sustained stuff like that, like you said, extended into the playoffs and winning like that, I don't know how we're gonna survive that. I don't know how the city's gonna survive that.
Oof. Like good luck. And for all those ex-Knick fans who jumped bail prior to last year, sorry.
You can't come back.
You can't come back. There's no coming back.
We changed the locks.
The locks. Michael Rappaport, you done. See, my guy CP already took care of you. Max Kellerman, he already CP took care of y'all. All you ex-Knick fans who were jaded and like, I don't care. They're not good. They're not better than the Nets. Listen. If, God forbid, if the Knicks win the championship in the next 3 to 5 years span, I don't want to hear from y'all. We don't want to be seen from y'all, okay? Because we stuck through it. We stuck through when they were in the dumps, in the garbage, in the gullies of the Penn Station with infested with rats, okay? We went to those games. We cheered for them, okay? We cheered for Luke Cornett scoring 20 points, okay? Okay? We cheer for Lance Thomas getting 10 points. Okay? So don't be coming back cheering if Kemba Walker starts dropping 30 a night and getting step backs on a Monday night. I don't want to. No.
Yeah, I remember almost going to blows arguing with people over Cole Aldridge, man. Remember Cole Aldridge? It's like Cole Aldridge, yo, man. The Knicks had to give him more minutes. His 36-minute percentage. He gets like 12 rebounds a game. I was like, man, I almost went to blows with people over Cole Aldridge, man. So that's how deep this love for this team is, man. Because we argue over bums. Shout out to Frank Ntilikina for everybody that's watching.
Oh, the Frank Hive.
I got to mention Frank. I got to mention Frank every episode.
Got to mention the Frank Hive. Oh, my gosh. Ooh, okay. I don't know if it's me, but I don't know if there was a Knick player, maybe, I don't know, back on Hall from Wingo, rest in peace, who was part of the team, but any other polarizing Knick player who only averaged like damn near 6 points a game, average a triple single, and he's still getting a Frank Hive who's like, okay.
People are crying for the dude.
No, it's like, okay, couple games, he'll say, okay, fine. He'll show us something like, okay, 6 points, 3 rebounds, to give us a good couple of defensive stands. They'll go crazy. Like, yo, Frank hit 3 threes. Frank hit 5 threes. Let's go. Frank Hive, stand up. Yeah, French Prince. Frankie Smokes, baby. What I tell you? Next 3 games, what is he doing? Turnovers. Where is he? There's a reason why he's not with the team no more. Like,
he's not with no team. He's not with no team.
He's not even signed in the team.
Yo,
After spending 4 years
Reggie
with
Bullock
three,
was trash for us, bro. And Reggie Bullock was like he was the first free agent signed by Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Phoenix was just in the Western Conference Finals, and
and they
they
signed
signed
Alpha
Elfrid Payton.
Payton.
That was the first thing they did. They say, "Hey, we
Oh,
in
but
a conference." Yeah.
by the way, they re-signed Alpha Payton. Remember, he was with them back before.
Yeah,
And the
so they
last time
obviously
he was
liked
with
him.
them, it was not good. So, good luck, Phoenix. Good luck.
Yeah, but we say all that. Frank is still unemployed at the moment.
Mm.
But like, you was getting there. So like, was there ever a player like that? Because I've been trying to get that information out of people, but everyone just wants to, crack on me because I keep mentioning Frank. But was there ever a player that you can go to that was just like Frank? I can't think of not one.
I can't think either. I just really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember John Starks. Well, when John Starks came over, he came from Golden State or whatever. He was like bagging groceries and stuff. But when he came to the Knicks, like people saw him, they wanted him to start. That's what started the whole thing. Where we traded Gerald Wilkins and then Starks got upgraded, whatever. But I mean, this is not John Starks. Like Frank doesn't have the talent that John Starks had, where we could say, yo, get rid of this guy and put him in the starting lineup. It's nowhere near that. So it's just odd. So odd to me.
May the Fourth. Shout out to May the Fourth. He said Jason Smith was that dude also. Like, Jason
Like a school
Smith.
teacher.
Shout out to State. Shout out to State on the chat. Thanks for the chat, State. Fire content. Thanks, man. State. Dude is hilarious. Like,
State is my guy, man.
Yeah, that's my dude right there, State. It's like, his rants on Twitter is like, yo.
Yeah, he'll say stuff so bad that he'll talk himself out of it. He'll talk about it so crazy that he'll talk himself out of it, which is hilarious to me.
If there's the president of the R.J. Barrett fan club, he's the president right there. He's the surefire president of the R.J. Barrett Hive, State of New York Knicks podcast. He is. I'm calling it right now. He is the unofficial president of the R.J. Barrett Hive. Okay. If you talk about R.J. Barrett in the trade rumors, he's I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna block you.
I'm gonna block you, brother.
I'm gonna block you, brother. He'll be recording from his job at the hospital. Like, yo, every time you mention RJ and any trade rumors, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna block you. Like, he got me rolling. Oh, that's my dude right there, State.
He said that's cap.
But yeah, you know what,
man.
Speaking of RJ, did you see those workout videos he was doing?
Yeah, what do you think about it?
Okay. He grew a couple of inches. He looks right now 6'8", and I'm gonna tell you, he's on a mission. He's on a mission.
Well, what trajectory do you think he's on? Because speaking of State throws all kind of names out there. But what name to throw that resonates with me is he said Ron Artest. To me, I think Ron Artest. I think that's the trajectory he's going to be on. Maybe not as rugged as Ron Artest, but just definitely with the methodical way that Ron Artest played. Ron Artest, he didn't really have a lot of flash to his game. It was mostly power, defense, shooting threes, that type of thing. So what do you think about that?
Trajectory, I'm gonna say a mixture of Ron and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's definitely one of those.
Because I could see the growth that he's gonna be on under Tibbs, just like the way Jimmy Butler was with the Bulls, and I think his tenacity and just his work ethic alone is going to get him to that trajectory. And by him adding counter moves, adding his right hand even more, and just him being that dog and being that work ethic that he has, I think he's gonna average under 20 points a game. I can see him averaging slightly under 20 points a game for RJ. Just to alleviate Randall, and also fill out that lineup with Kemba and Fournier And I'm just thinking the possibility of the two main games between Kemba, RJ, Kemba, Randall, RJ, Randall, Fournier, RJ, Fournier, Randall, Fournier, Kemba, and also the lob with Mitch and Kemba. And
everybody.
And it's gonna be real interesting to see how other teams defend them.
Yeah,
because you can't square on Randall like the Hawks did. Now you got to worry about shooting on the corner with Fournier, who also can shoot off the dribble. He can also play make. You got more playmakers with Fournier. Kemba, not so much as a playmaker, but he can score off the dribble. He can score off of a one-on-one. So I'm just really intrigued to see how this team really shapes up in terms of the whole Eastern Conference. I'm gonna go on a limb. I got them winning 51 games in the top 5 seed. It's finishing the top 5, easy in the top 5 in the East. Because when you look at it, defending champs, the Bucks, and then you got the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, yeah. Now you're going down to now that's the top 2. The next tier teams, okay, the Miami Heat. They got better, yes, but they got older with the additions of Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. Who else they got?
Slower. They got slower too, Miami.
Yeah, but but also they're gonna play their type of style, which you don't want to play. Which none of the teams don't want to play. Like the grindhouse defense. So they got a little bit older, but they got a little bit more talent. The Sixers, that's a question mark because we don't know what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. He just announced a couple of days ago that he wants out. So who knows what's going to happen with them. And then you got the Hawks. We'll see about them because we owe them. We owe them really big time. And then I think that's the top 5 right there. And then I'm hearing that I'm hearing that some people say like the Bulls are better than the Knicks. Like, excuse me, have you seen the Bulls bench in their defense? No, not happening. They're better than the Bulls.
They added too many players too.
And on the Bulls is like, okay, you added Zach LaVine. You still got Vucevic. You still got LaVine. You still got Vucevic. Added DeMar DeRozan. Is that combination going to work with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that dynamic works. And then you still got to put in Kobe White. And then you still have the bench. I'm not sure how that bench is going to be much better than the Knicks bench. Because the Knicks bench is way better than the Bulls. And who's going to play defense for the Bulls?
Yeah, and what kind of offense are they going to play? Because DeRozan needs to. DeRozan's basically a point guard.
He needs the ball.
And they signed Ball, so Ball is supposed to be the point guard. So who's the point guard?
Lonzo Ball. Yeah. So
So
that backcourt of Lonzo, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine. Who's going to get the ball? Who's going to be the fourth quarter crunch time player? You need a bucket. And who's going to run plays? Who's going to facilitate? Who's going to be your go-to option? And I don't know. Could they win 41 games? Maybe. I could see that, but they're not better than the Knicks. Nah.
Yeah, well, they made it 4 mentions their defense and stuff. But I mean, their defense was last year. This year is a whole different crew of guys, so it's a lot to put together. But I had Evergreen's post here. What do you think about the Knicks winning this year? Because this is what we're trained to do as Knicks fans. We're trained to say, in 2 years and 5 years we're gonna win something, but that's not guaranteed either.
Exactly.
Unless you got a hot tub time machine or something like that, you think that you can see into the future. It's very possible that we could win a championship this year. Things will have to definitely fall our way. Yeah, but the same thing happened with the Bucks. The Bucks, things had to happen to them. So they didn't just steamroll.
They didn't steamroll. if it wasn't for Kevin Durant's 18-foot shoe in Game 7, they're not even in the finals. If it wasn't for Kyrie Irving and James Harden going down with injuries, they're not even in the finals. So it's like you gotta be healthy, you gotta stay healthy, and you gotta see what breaks first and how things play out. Because we didn't see the Atlanta Hawks make it to the conference finals, and then next thing you know, they get a new coach mid-season. They beat the Knicks, and they make the playoffs as the 5th seed, then beat the Knicks, and then they beat the Sixers. So I'm still shocked about how they beat the Sixers, and they got to the conference finals. And if it wasn't for a couple of games here and there against the Bucks, they're probably in the finals. So you never know each year which team can break out and break through. Look at the Phoenix Suns last year.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Golden State Warriors when they won those championships. I mean, things have to break through. Injuries, you never know what can happen. So,
yeah, shout out to Kawhi. If Kawhi didn't get hurt, then the Clippers probably would have been in the finals.
He was that the year with the Raptors. If that ball doesn't bounce 4 times, Raptors are home.
Yeah. Even the Miami too. When Miami had the bubble, there was almost won a bubble chip. You know, you never know. Things just go teams' way. Yeah.
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 Never know.
So I'm on the Knicks championship energy for this year, man. I think the Knicks can win the championship. Okay. Shoot for the stars, man.
For me, championship. I'm not ready to say championship yet, but they could be one of those teams where they could sneak into the finals. I can see it. I'm not guaranteeing championship, but they could be one of those teams that come out of nowhere and they sneak into the finals if things break and injuries happen to other teams and they stay healthy, they stay where they are. Things might break for them. Who knows?
Yeah, cardiac Kemba. There's so many different variables that can go our way. You know, even outside possibility of a trade. You know,
that's why they signed up. That's why they have those team options. Yeah, you never know who can shake loose. You never know what can happen. You never know what can happen in the middle of the season, trade deadline, All-Star break, the waiver wire. Who knows? The beginning of the season, who knows who can shake loose and say, "Yo, I went out," and then Leon and Wes, they're like, "Okay, we got something brewing." Yeah. So you never know.
And that doesn't happen if you don't try to win. If you're not actively trying to win as a franchise, that stuff doesn't happen to you. That's what's been a laughing stock with us too, because like Knicks fans, we're gonna get this guy, but how? We didn't show no teams that we can get there. So why would we attract anybody? Because we have no plan. But now we have a clear plan. You know what I'm saying? So the ball is in our court.
They had no plan, no sense of direction. They just like, oh, we're gonna get this guy, this free agent, and then they sell that to the fan base. We get caught up. And then if it doesn't happen, we get egg in our face because we're saying, oh, this. Meanwhile, the national media puts it out there, and then they laugh at us saying, oh, y'all say y'all gonna get Katie, y'all gonna carry this and that and that. So now, with what has been established this year, and with the foundation they've established, it's more of okay. Let's see what can happen this year. Let's see who can shake loose. Let's set ourselves up, and then we can take a flyer on this player, or take a flyer on that player. So you never know how the NBA season can go either way. So Iru, you there? It looks it's just me. So yeah. So I'm on here for a little solo until Eagle gets back on. So shouts out to the chat in the building. I go by the name of Eric L. Beats, special guest host for the time being. So I'm looking forward to the season, and shout out to the chat that's in the building. Shout out to May 4th. He says win the division. That's huge. Win the division. That's a huge step for us. I mean, the Atlantic division is still tough. I mean, you still got the Brooklyn Nets with the 3 guys. You also added Paul Millsap. They're on the verge of getting LaMarcus Aldridge back. Blake Griffin's still there. They added Patty Mills. Also added Cam Thomas from the draft, so they're about to be locked and loaded and ready to go. Who else? The Celtics. Let's see how they shape out with the new coach with the Emu Doka. They still got the Jason Tatum's and the Jalen Browns. They also added Dennis Schroeder. I mean, see how that plays out. Who else? Raptors. They lost Kyle Lowry. Let's see how they mesh and come along with and also with them coming back to Toronto. El Servi says the Nets are fragile. Hey, listen, last year you saw it. There were 2 injuries. The two out of those 3 starters got injured. What happened? They lost in the second round. So
Yeah.
Who knows? You back? You back, Eru?
Yeah.
All right, because it's like you're frozen on the screen. You're stuck in the Matrix. So let me continue. Until you get back on. All right. So OG Nick fan says we got dogs on this team now. Yes, we do. We got dogs, and it's gonna be fight them out, scrap them out, see who gets the rotation minutes. Let's see who's also in the chat.
Hey, bro.
Are you back on?
I don't know what the hell happened just now, man, but the just popped out just now. So I literally have no internet in my crib right now.
Oh wow! So you gotta do your phone now?
Yeah.
All right.
That's crazy, man. I told you I have no internet. I think something happened just now having to do with the storm or something, man. The whole thing just went out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. So I mean, you was holding it down, man. So I mean,
I was holding down for a little bit. I was reading the chats from the I was reading the chats. So El Survey says the Nets are fragile. And I said, injury wise, hey, they are. Look at what happened last year. They lost 2 of their guys in the playoff series with the Bucks. They lost in 7. So we'll see how they hold up in the 82-game regular season. And this year is going to be an 82-game season, not a 72. So that's also another factor. And also you got fans coming back in, so that's another factor coming in. So we'll see how things are going to shape out. And let me see, another chat came in. I'm just trying to pronounce his name. ANEUNDY25. He said, donate to help pay Eru's internet. Like, jeez.
I think it has to do something with the storm, man, because I can hear my wife too. She just said something to me about things. So I think we might just be out of the internet for the time being.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, I was trying to segue into the whole podcast thing because you want to get into podcasting too. So that was like a nice little dry run for you.
To have man.
For yourself just now.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to start me and my brother we're planning to start a podcast of our own. It's more like our own way of how we look at the NBA. It's gonna be called the Swoosh Hoops podcast. The Swoosh Hoops podcast. SWOOSH Hoops. So basically, it's gonna be like a weekly podcast on our take on the NBA. We're more than likely gonna start next week, and then we're gonna as the season keeps comes to a full ahead. We're gonna start doing more on a weekly basis. So we're just gonna get started on that ASAP. So just look out for that. We're still in the beginning stages of formatting and what type of content, and just talking about the news of the NBA for the whole week.
That's what's up, man. I mean, good luck to you with that, man. I also want to segue into some DJ stuff, man. So I was trying to get because I mean, like you can see that you're a diehard Knicks fan, man. You know what I'm saying? So we see where that developed, but somewhere along the line, you developed some kind of like superpower, that you call DJing. So how did that come about? How did that whole DJing stuff come about?
So I grew up. My dad was a DJ, so I grew up watching him DJ, and so I was like, I didn't really get into it. Like I was in my late 20s. I left grad school back in 2012, took some time off, and came back, and it's like, okay, I want to start doing something that I really wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I started going to block parties and there's parties in the city. Look at the DJ, like, oh, okay, and see how the DJ controls the music, controls the crowd, and all that. Like, okay, I can see myself doing that. And then I started going through records, going through, buying records, buying equipment, and just started there and practicing. And then it grew from there. And I'm still here now doing it. It's going on 8 years.
Okay, so just as long as the Knicks been losing in the last 8 years, that's what sparked the whole
yeah
DJ stuff.
It's like I just get my mind off of Knicks losing, like please, and now they winning. It's like, okay, now I got some more ammo to go along with it.
Okay. Well, with the DJing, you get to meet like all these different type of people, man. So like what's been like the most what's been like your your playoff moment, like the big playoff moment that the Knicks had? What was like your playoff moment like in DJing?
Let me see. I DJ with Cool DJ Red Alert, DJ Maceo from De La Soul, Lord Finesse, who else? DJ Scratch from EPMD. Who else? There's a whole lot of people I've DJ with. Who else? I was like, I really can't name them all. It's like it's so many people I DJ with. It's like, oof. Also, No Star. Shouts to No Star. Who else? DJ Diamond, the artist I DJ with. DJ Ace, the Cut Lieutenant. Shout out to DJ Ace, the Cut Lieutenant. He was also a police officer. Shout out to him. And there's all the DJs I DJ with. So yeah.
So I mean, the DJ community is similar to the Knicks, right? Like the communities.
Yeah, it's tight. They open up your open arms. Also, they call you out if you're not doing right. So there's like the checks and balances that you have.
Kind of similar to Knicks fandom.
Yeah.
Right? Because shout out to Knicks Twitter. Yeah, Knicks Twitter, definitely, man. If somebody says something crazy, one little thing could turn into like a 5-7 day thread.
Yeah, so you wanna nip that in the butt ASAP.
Yeah. So as far as like moments and stuff, what's been like what was like a great moment for you DJing that you could think of?
Wow. No, because there's a whole lot of them. I mean, No, because it's a lot of moments is there. It's like I just really can't like pick out one specific one. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it was when I went to Lord Finesse's 50th birthday party at Fat Buddha. I wasn't one of the guest DJs, but it's like one of those things where you get on for a little bit and you start getting on set and you black out and just like do your thing, and then the next thing you know, I got a whole bunch of cameras on me. Like, oh snap! Like, okay, let's get showtime. Oh, actually, no, another story. This is back a couple years ago. I was DJing for my birthday at this spot called Sub Rosa, which closed. It was for a party called Soul in the Horn. It was my birthday week, and I DJ'd, and I opened up for Spinderella from Salt and Pepper. And I did a good whole hour and a half set. I mean, and Spinderella came, and she was like, "Wait a minute, I gotta go after you after you did this." It's like, it's like And then it was like it's like an out of body experience. And also there was a drummer who was also drumming alongside his DJing. His name is Daru Jones. Shout outs to him. Yeah, he was on the drums while I was DJing.
Is that a heavy set, brother?
I don't think so.
Okay. That reminds me of a party with DJ Goldfinger. He used to have a drummer that used to come through. I forgot the name of the spot. It was on a Sunday, but he always had a drummer with him, and that would just take the party to the next level. So I could just imagine, you know, when the DJ is going good, and then the drummer can catch the beat with that. That just takes that takes everything to the next level.
Mm-hmm. So that night was really, really dope for me. Yeah, that was one of those nights that you don't forget. And in that night I turned 30. So it was the 30th birthday. So with that and the whole atmosphere, it was a whole lot of people there, a couple of people, like a whole bunch of friends I knew who came through. It was like, yeah, it was one of those nights like top notch. Yeah,
so that was your moment. I'm trying to get you to give me that pinnacle moment.
That was that moment. It's like, okay, we here. That's the Knicks fans say, we here.
Right. So I mean, when you think about that moment, right? Like compare it to like say like you know that OB dunk or you know whatever happened in the playoffs this year or any Knick moment. Does that compare to anything that's happened to you with the Knicks?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it's the anticipation. It's like, and it's like I'm not one of those DJs who's like, you don't know at first, but you will know after I get off set. So that's when it's like, okay, he's that dude. He's one of those. Okay, I can rock with him.
Right. There's also a moment too, like as a DJ, when you're filling out the crowd and stuff like that. So like how do you know when you got the crowd? You know, because everybody's there, they're kind of feeling out the DJ, you know, trying to get the vibe or whatever. As a DJ, you're watching all this. So you know, how does that play out in your mind? All that stuff.
It's just the atmosphere and knowing your crowd. You just see, okay, you see how the vibe is, and then you just also mix it with your own intuition and just take it from there. And then you mix it up a little bit, and then you blend it in a little bit, and then hit them with the hits, and then you take it for a little surprise, and then bring them back with the hits again. So it's like your own story, but at the same time, you want them to ride the wave also.
Ride the wave also. So, you know, you said that so beautifully or whatever, man. Like to bring it back to basketball, I got to bring him up again. Frank Ntilikina. How come Frank Ntilikina could not figure that out? It's the energy or whatever. When you're playing basketball as a point guard, you have to read the crowd. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your clientele. You got to know who's there. You got to know who your who's open, who's got it going. You know what I'm saying? All this mixes up together, and then, you know, by the end of the day, you know, by you doing that, by you doing your job, you should be able to rock the fucking crowd, you know, and that's what basketball is all about, and like the connection between basketball and DJ to me is similar. Do you feel the same? After I painted it?
Because you gotta have that confidence, and I'm not sure if Frank had the confidence on certain nights where he can like dictate what he did before.
Right.
It'll be like one game, he's like, okay, he's in it, he's doing his thing, and then the next couple of games is like, he went back to his shell. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, break out of it, bro. Like, come on, we need more. We need more from you. And if we have to beg you for needing more from you, then there's a problem. It's like it's like they say about Kevin Knox, like his motor. It's like no one should question your motor. Like if you're doing this as a job or like if you not like a job, but as you want to fulfill, you got to have that motive for yourself. Like, okay, I need to be on point. I need to be up. I need to have my energy up. So like, please get a feel for what I'm doing. If not, then what are you doing here? What are you doing being on the court, wasting minutes for someone else who deserves it?
Right. what are you doing wasting this DJ time? You know, the people's
Mhm.
time. You know, hiring you and stuff like that. They got a party going on, and you're not even thinking about it. You got a playlist. You're playing a playlist or whatever the hell's going on. You know, these DJs. A lot of DJs just pushing buttons and stuff like that. You know, your heart is not into it. So how do you expect anybody else to get anything from it?
It's like you gotta at least have, if you put time and you invest your time into it, you gotta at least invest your energy into the crowd. I mean, it might be tough because depending on the crowd, if it's a young crowd, then you gotta like match it, depending on the music that they listen to. I know because I DJ'd at parties where it's like I'm not into it. You're like, oof, but then you find something, and then you roll with it, and then they come, and then they'll ride with you. So that's also another reason why like these like the big DJs who do it, they do it for the love. They do it for out of the passion of the soul, you know, instead of the cookie cutters who come in for the quick buck. Oh, I got a computer, I got a laptop, I got a DJ controller, watch me rock the crowd. Okay, have you put time into it? Have you studied? Have you listened to other mixes? Have you actually taken the vocabulary? Do you know the terms of this whole thing? It's just not just playing music. It's just you got to know the ins and outs. You got to know the business of it. You got to know. You got to deal with. You got to deal with all the issues that come with it. And if you're not ready for it to deal with that, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
that sounds like
actually, also, I did another birthday for my own. It was back in 2017. There's this party called Mobile Mondays. I DJ'd there, and basically this party is basically no laptop, no computer. It's actual records. You bring your, those the 7-inch records.
Yeah.
So you play music. You play DJ with 7-inch records, and it was a big crowd. So that night I turned. It was the day before my birthday. I did a set. In the crowd was DJ D Nice. Club Quarantine D Nice.
Yes.
So because I met him plenty of times when he did the originals with Tony Touch. What was the originals with Tony Touch, Rich Medina,
yep.
Stretch Armstrong, Clark Kent. So those and I've seen him play many times, and we met. That's one of my guys right there. So he was like, oh, like yo, oh my gosh, like yo. So he was going crazy. I was like, oh, okay. You need, and like people like there are like perks of going with it. If you're good, if you're really good, there are perks of going along with it. So like, okay, you get a drink, you free drinks, you don't pay nothing at the bar, this and that, But for me, it's you connecting with the right people, make sure your skills are up, make sure you know your craft, know your music, and have that passion and have that drive. So like, do the best you can do.
Yeah. So if you could segue all that back, that sounds like basketball to me, right? Doesn't that sound like basketball to me?
It is basketball.
All the different excuses that people have for certain players, not just Frank Ntilikina, just he didn't have the right coach, he didn't do this, they didn't develop him properly. In DJing, like you just said, if you're not putting in the own work, if you're not doing your own homework, if you're not practicing, you know what I'm saying, if you don't love it, you know what I'm saying, all these different things, you're not going to get the respect of your peers. People are not going to want to come to your show. That type of thing. The same thing with basketball. If you're not going to respect the craft, if you're not going to put your own time in to meet the right people, get the right training and this, that, and the other, you're not going to succeed in this game. Period. So
Nope.
I'm glad we're over this stuff, man. With these young people,
And also, if you see how the Knicks drafted recently, they drafted guys who fit the system, who fit the culture of playing hard, playing the right way, being held accountable, and enjoy winning. Miles McBride came out of West Virginia, who was the head coach there. Bob Huggins was his mantra: defense. Quentin Grimes from Houston, who was his coach. Kelvin Sampson. They're a winning program. They went to the Final Four the last couple of years. They had one of the top programs in the nation. So those are the high character guys that Leon and World Wide West and Walt Perrin, who we do not give enough credit to. Walt Perrin I thought he was one of the major additions last summer when they hired him because now it forced the Knicks to really go into the focus on our development and our drafting because we didn't have that before that, and it was just travesty how they just disregarded the whole stage of development and drafting. And thanks to Phil Jackson for showing us that clearly. So anyway, the fact that you got Will Parent and his guys going out scouting and bringing up the importance of development and fitting the right culture, it also gives us the fan base this sense of okay, we see. It gives us the anticipation of what's gonna come to happen, what's gonna come this coming season and the next couple of seasons, because now we see the plan, we see the foundation which was set last year. Because to me, the foundation was set last year when they made the playoffs, when they won those games. They won 41 games in a 72-game season. That's the foundation they set. The defense, the hard nose, grind it all, bring your lunch pail, punch your time clock, let's go to work. And in Tom Thibodeau's words, the magic's in the work. Let's go.
Yeah. Real recognized real too, man. Because you mentioned a bunch of different names, DJs and stuff like that. You don't meet these guys unless you're good. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to sit there and watch. They're DJs themselves. They're not going to sit and watch you DJ if you're not good. You know, so you're gonna if you respect the craft and do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna attract these guys. So Tom Thibodeau was calling Deuce McBride way before he got drafted that night. He was talking to him on the phone. Yeah, before draft picks, before he even got announced that the Knicks were picking him, he was already talking to Tom Thibodeau on the phone. So this is something that's already premeditated. These guys know each other. You mentioned his programs in college and stuff like that. Everybody knows each other. So if you're really about that life, you're gonna attract the people that are about that life. So that's really what the point. I really want to connect those dots before we left today.
If you're a train wreck, they're gonna see you as a train wreck. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
If you sound like a train wreck, they're gonna know that you're a train wreck.
Right.
That goes for basketball and DJing. Because I've seen DJs who are real sharp and they have the appearance that they can really rock a party, and when they get on the actual turntables, it's like, oof, it's like train wreck. Like, what are you doing? So
yeah.
It's like you gotta really work at it. And in terms of basketball, if you want the fans to come through and see and want to cheer for y'all and want to support, you gotta put in the time. You gotta put in the hours to train, to work at it. You gotta be held accountable for every action that you do, and just make sure that you provide a winning product on the floor for the fans to come in and cheer for the team. Because if they're not, then they're gonna voice their opinion.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So I guess we can end the podcast, man. It's just been a crazy podcast. I lost the internet, so you had to take over, and so I'm like,
I had to take over for a little bit.
Yeah, Lord have mercy, man. Yeah. I'm glad you was able to hold it down, man. So I mean, there was a nice little dry run, for your podcast when it comes out. What was the name of the show again? Swoosh Hoops, right?
Yes, Swoosh Hoops. SWOOSH Hoops.
Right.
Just make sure I get that spelling right. Swoosh Hoops. Okay.
Yeah. So for guys that are into podcasts, whatever, tune into to Eric L Beats, whatever. Also to follow him on social media. Like I said, he's gonna be DJing this weekend for Labor Day weekend. Shout that out again. Also, your different things you're doing.
All right. So follow me on Instagram, Eric L Beats. Also Instagram, Shots by Eric L. I started doing photography, so I also got that going on. This weekend, Labor Day, I'll be on the Manhattan Cruise. Friday night, 7 o'clock. Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Sunday afternoon, 12. Monday afternoon and Monday night at we're leaving Pier 36. Basically, we're sailing down from the East River to Statue of Liberty, up the Hudson River, and then we'll be sailing back, stop in front of Statue of Liberty. People take photos. People they celebrate the engagements, the anniversaries, birthdays, all types of celebrations. and they just have a chill 2-hour, 3-hour boat ride in New York City on the Hudson, on the East River, and just chill out and party and drink and eat.
No doubt, man. So if anybody don't have anything to do this weekend, man, check out Pier 36 with Eric L Beats and hang out with the kid, man. Because you can see him like you have a very like cool, super cool, like reserved demeanor, but once you start mixing and whatever, it's a whole different person, man.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so you'll
like,
definitely see that. You go to one of his
like,
events.
It's like certain elements. Like I get into like a little zone. You know what I mean? But not too rambunctious, not too overzealous. You know.
Yeah, I seen you though, man. When you get into your zone, like you mixing the next thing you know, as soon as you hear, like, oh shit, here we go. You know what I'm saying? He started climbing into his bag and stuff. So yeah, man. So shout out to Eric L Beast. Thank you for coming to the podcast, man. Good luck to you with your podcast with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it this weekend because I work like a slave. But if I can, I'll see if I can catch you out there on one of your events and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And if you got more podcasts coming up, and if you want me to get on the state, let me know.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Yeah.
If anything, I'll see you October 20th, right?
I already got that date circled, locked off. Like, listen, no, that's the week of my birthday. I don't want to hear nothing. I'll be at the game, So yeah, I already got my Patrick Ewings, the blue ones. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you can't tell people what you're wearing for opening night, man. I'm already developing my bag already, man. So.
I'm just giving you little hints. That's it. I'm not trying to give you the whole. No, just keep it there.
All right, no doubt, man. But anyway, thanks for coming to the DJing podcast, man. Everybody, thank you for bearing with me with the nonsense, man. I'm gonna blame it on the flood, man. For some reason, everything went out. I'm looking around, all the internet went out in the crib for a little while, man. So anyway, it's been Eru. So this is Mr. Eric L Beats, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.